What up, y'all? It's your boy Scoob, and welcome to another episode of Item Crash Diecast. Yeah, I decided to do something a little different today. You notice back there, you see the El Segundo Coupe again. I did that one in my last episode, back when I came back home from Walmart. But the reason why I'm showing it again is because it gave me an idea to show off the rest of my fantasy cars. Most of the time, fantasy cars ain't really something that I usually go for. But, even though I respect the creativity, but a lot of them just be too wild and, childish for me, of course. But every once in a while, there's one or two fantasy cars out there that, catches my eye, catches my attention. And it's pretty nice, actually, for to be a fantasy car, of course. So I decided to, bust all the rest of my other fantasy cars out and then show y'all some of what I got. I know that most of the time fantasy cars ain't everybody's thing. Definitely not, most of the adult collectors thing, but some people out there, they like them. I do too, as long as they're, done tastefully enough. That's all I ask. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get cracking. So, of course, like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video, I already did this one. Talked about it. It is pretty nice overall. Are there some things I would have done differently, personally? Yeah, I would. But, it is what it is. But overall, it's not bad. It definitely reminds me of one of those 60s sports cars, those European sports cars that you see on the track. It definitely has some British, Italian influence to it, with the curvaceous lines, but yet still simple, purposeful. Yeah, I like it. So yeah, didn't want to spend too much time on this one since I did it already, but had to give it the honors of giving it another mention. So there's the El Segundo Coupe, y'all. I'm definitely going to buy it in the other colors. Of course, you also seen this one, the DiMachini Veloce. This is based off of an Italian rally car from the 70s. Definitely has some supercar influence to it. From the 70s, of course. If you look closely, there's the spare tire in there. Pretty nice. Really like this version. I got the blue one somewhere. But I still like this green one the best. It just got the Italianness to it with the red and white stripes on it. Hold on, let me bust out that other one real quick. I apologize for keeping y'all waiting. But yeah, I like both of the versions overall. Yeah, this is a pretty nice casting, especially for a fantasy car. It gets to a point where, sometimes, a casting comes along that you really don't care if it is a fancy car. Yeah, you just like the way it's designed. A lot of people don't realize or remember that your cars like the Bone Shaker, those are fancy cars too. But you got collectors that are still going crazy for them. Just a couple weeks ago when I went to Walmart, there's this old man, this older gentleman. He met me at the Hot Wheels aisle, and he was like, he was asking me, "You a collector too?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I am too. I'm looking for Bone Shakers." But yeah, but that's the thing. Why am I even talking about Bone Shakers? I guess to prove a point about other fantasy cars like these. But anyway, this is the DiMachini Veloce. I'm gonna give y'all one last look, and we're moving on. Alrighty. This right here is the Glory Chaser. Uh, you know, I actually had this. I actually been had this since last year. Bought it at my Dollar General, which is right across the street from my house. This is pretty nice. Still need the red one, but I really like it in this green right here. I usually don't do engines. I usually don't do cars with the engine sticking out at the hood, but I'll make an exception for this one. I plan on customizing a few anyway, just to give it a sleeker look. But yeah, this is based off of one of those old school European race cars, I guess. When it's green, yeah, in green, it kind of reminds you of a Jaguar, Aston Martin. But in red, it kind of reminds you of an Italian car, like a Ferrari or a Maserati. I get those kind of vibes. Green, it reminds you of a British car. Red, Italian car. Y'all get the point. I like this quad exhaust setup right here. Yeah, that's pretty dope. I just love the way this car looks. I don't love the clear seats, but they had to do something, because it's part of the seats are part of the windshield. Actually, that's what it looks like. Yeah, but it don't look bad, especially if you can paint it. But yeah, and there's the gas cap. And the taillights, yeah. This thing has taillights. Wow. Yeah. So anyway, actually need another one of these because it got a paint chip on it. But anyway, I can get some more off of eBay anyway. But yeah, the Glory Chaser. These two are called the Fantastique. is basically built based off of those French cars from the 1930s. Like I don't know if some of y'all hadn't heard of. Some of y'all have heard of this company, but there was this company called Figoni and Falaschi. They were basically independent car designers, like the old school coach builders. And then what a coach builder is, they basically have people come in with the chassis of the car that they bought from the factory, or like bought from the dealership or something. Mainly rich folks. But anyway, those designers would take that chassis and then build a whole new body around it. And then Figoni and Falaschi did that for a lot of car companies. So anyway, this is pretty nice. They weren't the only ones doing that, but there's a lot of coach builders out there. But Figoni and Falaschi is one of my favorites. Had to point that out there. I really like these seats. It actually has like a diamond stitching to it. Can't really see it too good on this one, but I like the color better on this one anyway. That seats on the red one are kind of clear, the interior. But man, I love it when Hot Wheels or any diecast company just goes the extra mile and puts just a little extra detail in the interior. Definitely makes a difference. There's the steering wheel. Oh yeah, the wheels. They use the large wheel with the what you call it, the wire wheels, the lace wheels. Yeah, these are in gold on the blue one, and these are just straight up chrome on the red one. But you know what? I kind of like the blue one because of those gold wheels. Yeah, that blue and gold, that really pops a lot more. Yeah, so I say the blue one is my favorite. But the red one is a very close. Love putting it together with the blue one. Actually, these are like the first editions. The first two colorways that came out back in I don't know, 99, 2000. Somebody in the comments might correct me on that, but yeah, definitely early 2000s casting. A Y2K car, if you will. So yeah, that's the Fantastique. Love the name too. This right here is the Tomasima 3. Well, actually, this shouldn't be classified as a fantasy car because this was actually a real car. It was just built on a Ferrari chassis. The guy who designed it was a gentleman that goes by the name of Tom Mead. He was so in love with those Italian sports cars, mainly Ferraris, that I guess he wanted to build his own. And build his own he did. It even got his name on the base, designed by Tom Mead. So there's that. This car, like I say, it probably not a fantasy car. It's probably more of like a real car, actual real car. But especially since it's licensed, but it just gives you that fantasy car vibe to it that you can't help but to recognize it as a fantasy car, I guess. And by the way, Thomasima, that's basically the Italian name, I guess, for Tom Mead. Thomasima. There's more versions of these. They don't make them anymore because they've been final runned. So that's the end of this casting. But I had to at least get the red one. It looks pretty nice. These wheels, and the wire wheels, they don't make these lace wheels like this anymore. These fat those fat meats on it. Arby's, we have the meats. So yeah, it goes to show you that they don't make them like they used to. All right. And we got one more casting, which is my custom auto. This is a car that I bought, some years ago. About 10 years ago, I bought this one. Back when it first went up for sale on the RLC. Yeah, this is a RLC car. But you know which color this was at first? Yeah, if you guessed orange, then you'd be correct. But the problem was, I was going to leave it like it was, but it had a paint chip on this. Well, it had a scratch on the side. So right on the front fender right here. On the bumper. Yeah, right here. Where I got my thumb on. So yeah, that was a bummer, especially after paying $20 for it. So what I basically did was, instead of sending it back, I just basically stripped it. Yeah, that's the customizer in me. So yeah, you got the taillights right there. So yeah, I was meaning to paint this. Well, no, I was just too in love with that chrome plated look on it. And this is a really nice casting. I have to say so myself. Usually not a big fan of cars with the castings with the big rear wheels on them. But it works here. I can excuse it on a fantasy car. I just don't like it on the licensed real cars. But I can accept the large rear wheels on the fantasy car. But anyway, this is my custom auto. Been meaning to get more of these. But, I just been too busy getting other things. But yeah, I wouldn't mind having another custom auto or two in the collection. So yeah, I guess that just about does it for my fantasy car show off right here. If I have to choose one, then I guess my favorite would have to be the Glory Chaser. I just love that the European race car from the 60s look. That's just so sexy to me. I also like these Fantastiques, custom auto, of course. And yeah, being a Ferrari guy, I had to have the Thomasina 3 out here. So anyway, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, then why not? Why not subscribe if you enjoyed the content? You'll leave a like, leave a comment. If you are going to subscribe, just hit those notifications, man. So yeah, I guess that'll do it for today. All right, y'all. See y'all later.